The Next Level with Emmett Golden and Gerard Cherry on ESPN 850 WKNR and the ESPN app.
Welcome back to The Next Level on ESPN 850 WKNR. Emmett Golden, Gerard Cherry, and Matt Fontana. We are live in the Universal Windows Direct Studios, streaming live video at the landondemand.com. It's time to bring in some special guests for us. The play, the Royale, is going to be going on this weekend. It opens actually opens tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, all the way through May 27th. We have the director, Robert Barry Fleming, and the star, Preston Butler III. I have to start off, guys, by saying you have the name of a director and the name of a thespian, if you will.
Preston, it sounds so official, doesn't it?
Right. Butler the Third. I was like, oh, that's an official dude right there. That's an official dude right there. So how's it going, guys? Are you really excited about what's about to happen here?
Yeah, it's an amazing company. We've got such talent in this company, from behind the scenes, on the stage, and so we're raring and ready to go tomorrow night.
Now, I want to get into the preparation part of things because I had the opportunity to actually go see them practice, and we're talking about practice.
Or would it be called rehearse?
It's both.
Okay.
Because it's full on.
Yeah. Well, the thing with it was I had aspirations, like everyone does, of being an actor.
Yeah.
But after witnessing what you guys do, I don't even think I could get through the first scene.
Oh, man.
From a memory standpoint. So right there alone, what goes into you actually remembering your lines? How much time do you spend rehearsing, Preston?
Well, in this process, it's a speedy one. So we rehearse for about 3.5 weeks, and then we have some preview audiences come before we open. But those rehearsals, man, I mean, I was looking at my script at least 2 or 3 weeks before we started rehearsal. And then once we get in the space, we kind of sit down at the table, we kind of hash out things, figure out really what the playwright is saying. Marco Ramirez, really, he's got a lot of deep things in this. But then what we do is we go to blocking rehearsal. So we get in the space, we kind of figure out how the stage is going to be set, and then we figure out how our lines correlate with movement in the space, what we're going to be doing, because, in the show, even though it's boxing, we're abstracting it. So we've got choreography. I know he doesn't want to cut that. We have some choreography, as I'm putting up air quotes. We have the lines that we have to memorize, and then we have the blocking, the movement in the space, and all of those kind of things. So it definitely is a lot to keep in your body, in your brain. So it's pretty complex.
So you have a photographic memory?
I actually do.
I was going to say, because he doesn't seem to have any problems with lines.
That is one gift that God gave me, so I'm thankful for that.
I heard that. Wish you could pass it to me.
Yeah, just real fast, just so people understand what the Royale is all about. Right?
Sure.
Can you tell them the plot of the movie?
It's inspired by the first heavyweight champion of both races, Jack Johnson, and he was really our first black superstar celebrity athlete in America, because he wasn't only just an incredible athlete with this incredible mind, but he was a part of a real social movement. He was born during Reconstruction, where all kinds of possibilities were before us after slavery had ended, and then grew up during Jim Crow. And I think that was a central tension in his life, because those core beliefs were, I can do anything. He saw black politicians, saw black representation, freedom, and then suddenly these really laws that forced him into a box just didn't match what he thought of himself. So it's inspired by Jack Johnson, and the character who Preston plays, Jay the Sport Jackson, is in pursuit of the white heavyweight champion to fight him for the fight of the century. And that's
to unify the titles.
To unify the titles.
That's right.
Right, and it's interesting, too, because in the wake and aftermath of what Kanye West, actually, got my K's mixed up here, and what he's said lately and what went viral, just this idea of slavery being a choice, and then Jack Johnson is the perfect antithesis of that. And what you can learn from what I just read about him and what you'll see in this play, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I am, is that fight, is that struggle of identity as a black man and what that entails. And I think you guys, just from what I saw briefly, because I had a chance to see the rehearsal, you point that out. So it's a great narrative and a great conversation to have. So I'm very excited to see it tomorrow. But with that being said, you guys had practice today. Or rehearsal, rather. I keep saying practice. Yeah, and don't feel bad, because I called a baseball manager or coach because I forget everything's not football centric, but I can have those problems, so to speak. Now, do you guys, because in the football world, here's what we do. Day before the game, we have a real light, what we call walkthrough. Now, did you guys have a walkthrough, or did you go full out?
Now, it depends. Some of the rehearsals earlier in this week and a part of last week, before we would have a show, we would actually run the entire show, full out. But like Robert was saying before we got on the air here, some days we have 2 show days. So we have to build up the stamina to be able to do the show full out twice in one day. But as we've, obviously been running the show almost twice every day, luckily, he's lightened it up on us a little bit, and we're kind of finessing certain things with the lights and the sound cues and things like that.
So we have what's called a player's coach. So you were an actor's director.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
true.
right.
And there is a real term for that. I was an actor myself, and I was an athlete. I was a gymnast and a collegiate athlete, and did NCAA. And we were just talking earlier. It's like once you're an athlete, there's a certain way about approaching any discipline, and even all my theater work has always been informed by that ethos, and the sense that you really do have to build stamina and muscle memory and have a deep kinesthetic awareness that is not always conscious about what you're doing and how you're going to respond. So with this show, that's been necessary, that not only as an actor but as an athlete and a physical actor, that they have that in their bodies.
And you guys have put so much detail into this show too. They actually have dialect coaches, and one would think, okay, it's in America. What type of English can you speak other than English? But they have taken it to a whole nother level with different dialects from parts of the country.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Could you give us more expand on that too, if you will?
Sure. So Jack Johnson, who obviously was the inspiration, is from Galveston, Texas. But I was actually able to find a clip of him actually talking. And he almost doesn't have a very specific Southern dialect from Texas. And I think a lot of that was because of the part that he traveled all over the world. Paris, London, all on East and West coasts of America. And I think the crowd that he was, sort of around a lot of the time had very differing dialects. So he kind of has a very world sound, which is what I kind of took for Jay. I wanted to have a little bit of Southern hint every now and then, but also that I have a dialect that you can't really put your finger on it, because he's bigger. He's bigger than just the South. He's bigger than Texas. He's bigger than America. He's a world global athlete and the first of his kind.
I'm gonna borrow that.
We
Can't put a label on my dialect.
We're joined by Robert Barry Fleming, the director of the Royale, and Preston Butler III, the star, as I deem it, of the Royale. Now, Preston, I saw you working out on the boxing type of thing. Have you ever done anything like that before from a boxing standpoint?
Not in boxing. This was my first time actually getting training with technique, really working with a heavy bag, mitts, all of that kind of stuff. But our trainer, KJ Johnson, he has been absolutely fantastic through the whole process, really making sure that we have the fundamentals down, the technique. He's kept us safe, kept us loose. Because even though in some of the fights we're not doing actual boxing, there's some real contact with mitts, a little bit of heavy. I was going to ask,
did you get accidentally hit at any point when you guys were rehearsing?
No, actually, no.
Okay.
We've been right. Safety is definitely of the utmost of importance. But it's a lot that I'm putting my body through. So we've had to.
So you walking around now like test me.
Listen, man.
Somebody would.
I'm in the best shape of my life. I've been an athlete, my whole life. I played basketball in college and stuff like that. But this is a whole different kind of feeling good. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
I hear that. I hear that. Well, Robert, let everybody know when it opens, how they can get their tickets.
Absolutely. We started performances May 5th. We open tomorrow night, May 11th, and run through May 27th in the Outcalt Theater at Cleveland Playhouse, America's first regional theater. And we are having 8 shows a week. You'll have a opportunity to see us twice on Saturdays and Sundays, and call our box office or reach out to clevelandplayhouse.com and get a ticket.
And I just want to say this before we let you guys go. For those out there listening, why you should check this out. If you value LeBron James, if you value Muhammad Ali, and you really want to see who was the forefather who set all this into motion from a historical standpoint and what that represents, you have to see this play, because you will be enlightened by it and get some insight into why LeBron is a LeBron and why Muhammad Ali was a Muhammad Ali. I think it totally fits.
Absolutely. Well, couldn't have said it better myself. Again, go check out the Royale. It opens tomorrow. Get your tickets online at clevelandplayhouse.com. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank
coming
Thank
in,
you for
man.
having us.
For sure. More of the next level when we continue on KNR.